Hi, I'm Congressman Steve King of Iowa's 4th Congressional District. And I'd like to announce to you all that the Rules Committee just finished their deliberations on the REINS Act that was up before Rules and the amendments that were offered on the REINS Act. The REINS Act is a bill, H.R. 26, that was introduced here several cycles ago by Congressman Jeff Davis of Kentucky. And what it does is it identifies any rules that are $100 million in economic impact or more, and requires that before they can have the force and effect of law, which our rules do, that they come before the United States Congress and require an affirmative vote of Congress. Now, that was a good bill when he wrote that, but prior to the introduction of the REINS Act the first time, I had been writing a bill that we call the Sunset Act, and I've introduced it in multiple Congresses alongside the REINS Act, and my bill is much more expansive in its entirety. Now, I offered my bill as a substitute amendment for the REINS Act and the Rules Committee, and offered it in 4 different components so the Rules Committee would have a choice. They have accepted for debate on the floor tomorrow the King Amendment to the REINS Act, which makes it far more effective an act if the King Amendment is adopted tomorrow and the REINS Act becomes law. What my bill does is it addresses all the existing regulations. The REINS Act only goes forward prospectively. Well, the King Amendment is retrospectively, and anything that is current regulations, so that it requires all regulations that have the force and effect of law today, or as of the day of the signature on the bill, to come before Congress 10% a year for 10 years, so that over that period of time, over a decade, Congress will have reviewed every regulation that's on the books. We can reauthorize them en banc, as we say, in a bunch, or we can peel any one out for an amendment or a separate repeal. At the end of that period of time, all of the regulations that exist in the books today will have the full support of the majority of the House and Senate. And that means it empowers we the people. So this is a very important amendment tomorrow that I'll be offering on the floor of the House of Representatives to H.R. 26, and it is the most important component of the Sunset Act, which I've introduced in previous Congresses, and I'm looking forward to the support of conservatives all across the board. I see at this point that conservatives are likely to support it en masse, and if that's the case, the Senate will have to take up a bill that actually addresses our problems. And the King Amendment then addresses WOTUS, it addresses cap and trade, these heavy regulations that are promulgated by the Obama administration. And so we can then, Congress can take a look at all those regulations and simply vote them down or refuse to authorize them. That will take a lot of the load off of Donald Trump, and this goes a long ways towards fixing this problem of an over-exuberant President Obama and others who over-regulated American society. And by the way, one of the big reasons Donald Trump is president-elect today is because of the over-regulation of the federal government. So give us back our country, and let's put we the people in charge.